TV shows that you see every day. We're giving you specifics on what you need to know if you need to go to small claims court. And here with the details is attorney David Aylor. How are you?
I'm good. Good to be here.
Yeah, were you trying to shake my hand?
I was. Well, it's nice to see you again.
Okay. Well, so tell me, first of all, small claims court, what is it and who is eligible to go?
Well, anybody's eligible to go. The first thing you need to think about is the amount of money that is in controversy. If it's under $7,500, you can go to small claims court. A lot of people don't realize that when they hear small claims court, they think, $100, $150, and you could go for, amounts that small. And it's also very reasonable to go. The fee is somewhere in the range of $75 to $85, and that'll actually get you to file, and you can get the complaint served and, go forward on your own if you don't want to hire a lawyer.
Yeah, all that said, though, sometimes you see, like I said, you see these court shows, and that is small claims court, and then you say to yourself, this doesn't even seem like it's worth the money that they're spending to, the court fees that they spend to go in there. When do you know that it's worth your time and it's worth your money to go? Well,
in reality, different people think their time is worth different things. It might go over $500, but you just feel like you were wronged by this business or this service. Right. So you'll file, and you could actually get rewarded that $500 plus maybe any incidentals like the court fee. Right. And you can also hire lawyers. Some people do use lawyers within the small claims court.
But I mean, as a lawyer, have you gone to small claims court often? Is that something that people do?
I wouldn't say it was something that people do often, but sometimes you do go. If it's a one-day appearance, and maybe perhaps if the lawyer's going on a contingency basis, they're going to get a third, and that's a couple $1,000s. That's not a bad payday.
Yeah, I would say so. So then what happens if, let's say, for instance, you feel that someone owes you money, but it was one of those things where you didn't write a contract out? And so it's kind of like word of mouth. Like I say I'm going to pay you, and then I don't pay you. That's small claims court as well?
It could be, yes, because of contract by performance. For instance, if you say you're going to pay me to paint your house, and then I paint your house, and then you say, you know what, I'm on tough times, I just can't pay, or maybe I'll pay you later. If I've actually performed and actually done the painting, then you could go to some small claims court for exactly something like that.
Right. And if it's the other way around, let's say that you own a business, and you told somebody you do a service, and maybe they only paid you half the money, and now the service is over. Then what do you do?
That's a perfect thing to take to small claims court. Again, small claims court can save you in expense of lawyers and time. And the other thing that's really important with small claims court is you can get in there relatively quickly, within a couple of months, where if you file in the court of common pleas, it may take over a year to get into the court.
But is time of the essence? Let's say, like you just said, you paint someone's house, they don't give you the money, and you just kind of wait 6 months because they're friends of yours, and you say, well, they'll eventually give it to me, they'll eventually give it to me, and now you really need your money back. Does that matter, or you can go either way?
No, you could still go. You have up to the 3 years on the tort claim, so you'd have plenty of time. But obviously, in these situations, most of the time, people will give somebody a reasonable amount of time to pay them back, and then finally, document that as well. The most important thing is, in problems that do come up within the small claims as well, he said this or she said that. Emails just save everything.
Right.
Save all those emails. They're timestamped. They're dated. You have the people's writing a response, and without even a lawyer, you'd be able to show a lot of information through those emails.
Right, but a lot of times it seems like it's always he said, she said. Like, I mean, how do I know that it's even worth me going? If I know I'm right, but they're saying the exact same thing that they're right, when you go to a judge, how do you know what's going to happen?
Well, it's going to be depending on what people say once they get on the stand. They are swearing under oath. And again, what you can do a lot of times is good for people. Like, for instance, if you say, okay, David, come paint my house for $1,500.
Right.
Well, we have that over a lunch conversation. I'm going to email you that afternoon and say, Laura, please confirm that we've agreed upon this.
So keep a paper trail.
Absolutely. You write back and say, yes, we've just made a contract right there, just over a couple simple emails.
Right. So it's very simple just to make sure that you print that out. So I guess just make sure you have proof.
Absolutely. If you can. Now, some things you might not have proof for, but then it really just comes out in testimony.
Got it. All right. Well, he's David Aylor. Thank you so very much for being with us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You don't have to worry about going to those court shows. You just hang out around here.
I could do that.
It'll be fine. All right. Well, can you believe that the end of the year is just 11 days away? Well, Jim Hudson from Hudson & Associates stops by with some tax tips to get you ready for that seasonal preparation. Stay with us.